Hello, it's Tom from Blacktoad Studio, and here is my 1750 points of Night Lords, Chaos Space Marines. So, let's go into the HQ slots. Starting off at the back over here, we have 3 HQs for this battalion. So, the Warlord here on the left is the Chaos Terminator Lord. He has a Mark of Khorne. He has also been equipped with 2 Lightning Claws, which have been upgraded with the Night Lord's relic of Claws of the Black Hunt. He has a Warlord trait from Faith and Fury called Murderous Reputation. That basically allows him on 6s to wound to inflict 1 additional mortal wound on top of his normal damage. We then have a Demon Prince of Nurgle. He has been given the Diabolic Strength psychic power. He also has wings and is equipped with 2 Malefic Talons for all those lovely attacks. We then have a Chaos Terminator Sorcerer who has a Force Stave and Combi Melter. He has been given Prescience and Warp Time as his 2 psychic powers. So that is the HQs. Battalion obviously needs some troops. So we have 3 squads of Chaos Space Marines. This one here has been upgraded with a Melter Gun and a Flamer, and obviously the Aspiring Champion has a Chainsword Bolt Pistol. We have a mirror of that squad to the right here, and at the back an almost mirror. However, the 2 special weapons in this squad is 2 Plasma Guns instead of a Flamer and a Melter Gun. We'll then swing on over to some fast attack choices. So we have a 10-man Raptor squad here, all equipped with chainswords and bolt pistols. Then into the elite slot, so we have a Hellforged Contemptor here, and he has the Ectoplasm in the hand slot and the Keras Assault Cannon. Obviously does have the Death Claw as well. Heavy choices. We have here a Sicaran Venator. He has been given 2 additional weapons, which is the 2 las cannon sponsons there on the sides. And then finally, all the way over here, we have 2 Havoc squads, one with 3 missile launchers and a heavy bolter, and the other one has 4 heavy bolters. They have both been given a Mark of Slaanesh, and obviously the sergeant, well, the aspiring champions there have a power weapon and a bolt pistol in each one. Also, just to quickly mention over here, I had also given my Raptors the Icon of Wrath and Mark of Khorne, just so we can maybe re-roll those charges. I haven't pre-spent any command points, so we have 12 to play with, and we'll be right back in a minute to see what Daryl's bought for his Blood Angels. Okay, so we also now have 1750 points of Blood Angels bought by Daryl here. He is going to go through the list for me, so I'm just going to pass the microphone over to him while I hold the camera, so it's distant apart. So, start off with what detachment have you bought?
Okay, so I'm running 2 detachments today. I've got a patrol detachment and a vanguard detachment. Okay. So I'll start off with the patrol detachment. My warlord is this Blood Angel Smash Captain here. So captain with a jump pack and a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. I've spent a command point to give him Black Rage, okay, and he's got a relic, the Angel's Pinion, as well. Also in that, I've got a squad of intercessors that fills that troop slot. They've got 5 intercessors and an intercessor sergeant, so 6 in total. And next to them is a lieutenant, ancient, and sanguinary priest. Okay. Just going from the back here, I've got a Redemptor Dreadnought, and I have a Relic Leviathan Dreadnought as well. And then moving across into my Vanguard detachment, I have as the HQ a Primaris Chaplain. And then filling up some of the elite slots, realise the Redemptor should have been in that Vanguard, but that makes sense. I've got the Death Company Intercessors, Death Company Dreadnought behind with a Magna Grapple, Blood Talons, and then in a heavy slot, I've got some Assault Terminators. I've got 6 in total with Thunderhammers and Storm Shields. Okay.
So I believe command point wise, you've obviously you gain your 2 back from the patrol because your warlord's in that one, but you've also spent 3 on your Vanguard detachment. Yeah. So there we go. We'll be right back in a minute with mission and deployment. Okay, so here we go. This is the mission and the map here. So we are playing Surround and Destroy. So there are actually 6 objectives for the primary objectives in play, so we'll just go through where they are. We have 1 down here, we then have another one towards the centre and off to one side, likewise on this side. We then have another one in a deployment zone over here, because it will be the kind of, I suppose, old school Dawn of War style deployment, because they don't really have names now. We also have another objective over here and another objective over here. And I think with the last couple of games, it's the same kind of setup here. So if you control one objective marker at the command phase, you score 5. If you control 2 or more, you get another 5. And if you control more than the opponent, you get another 5. So a total of 15 per round. There is also some secondaries in play, but we won't go through them until we start the game because we haven't deployed yet, and that would be unfair to either player because we don't know what they are to each other at the moment. So let's get the deployment done. Okay, so deployment has been done. I picked a defender when we rolled off earlier and I got to this side. So let's have a look here. So we have a Havoc squad on this flank along with a Chaos Space Marine squad. We also have a Hellforged Contemptor, another Chaos Space Marine squad, the Venator, Chaos Space Marine squad, another Havoc squad along with the Sorcerer and the Demon Prince hiding over here. I also have my Raptors and my Chaos Terminator Lord sitting in reserve. So, moving on to the Blood Angel side of the board, we have the Redemptor sitting over here on this flank, spinning up his chain gun, I have a suspicion. We then also have the Hellblaster squad, which I think might have been accidentally omitted from the army list, so there is a Hellblaster squad there, which is a heavy choice on the patrol. We then have the Intercessor squad, I forget what this guy is, the Sangry Priest, that's the one, the Ancient, and the Lieutenant over here. That everything there, I think, yeah. Then quite clearly separated to this side of the board, we have the Death Company Intercessors. We also have the Chaplain, or Primaris Chaplain. We have the Death Company Dreadnought and the Leviathan. Also, some of you may have noticed on the Leviathan here that it has 2 assault cannons on the front. They are actually 2 heavy flamers. It's because it came modelled with that as it was purchased as a second-hand model. We also have the Assault Terminators and the Captain in reserve. So, that is the deployment. Now let's see who goes first. Nice simple roll off here. So we're going to do that down here. We have a 5 to a 6. So Darryl, would you like to go first?
I would.
He would. So we'll be right back in a minute with Blood Angels, turn 1. Okay, turn 1, Blood Angels, obviously in the command phase in the first turn. No points to score because there is no points to be scored. We had the Death Company Dreadnought here make an advanced move of 11 inches right up on this side of the board. So heading towards an empty gap at the moment. Don't know what his plans are there. We also have the Leviathan here, which also did an advance, moving over to this side of the board, just to get behind the central obscuring terrain there, because obviously these are ruins, so they are obscuring because they're over the height distance. Nothing else moved on that side of the board. However, as we move over to here, we have this side of the Blood Angels force. We had the Redemptor. I think did he stay still in the end? He did stay still. However, over here we had the Hellblasters and Intercessors, along with the, I'm going to forget, Sanguinary Priests, move out, along with a little bit of shuffling just to keep the auras in range. So they've all got probably plenty of targets to shoot at on this side of the board. So that is the movement. Let's head on into, I was going to say psychic and shooting, but there is only shooting for the Blood Angels because they have no psychers. So back in a moment. Okay, so starting off the shooting phase, we've got the Redemptor here firing at the only thing it can actually fire at, which is the Chaos Space Marines over here. So let's see how the shooting goes. Okay, so we have the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon firing here at the Chaos Space Marine, so off we go. So we've got 12 shots coming in. We are hitting on 3s with no re-rolls because nothing is actually in range.
Lots of 1s and 2s there. Okie dokie.
And then wounding on, I believe, 3s because you're strength 5.
Strength 5.
So that's just the 3. And that is actually at -2, I believe. So I am needing 5 ups here to save the Night Lords. And we save 1, so that is 1 dead Night Lord Chaos Space Marine. Okay, so next up we have the Intercessors here firing into the same target. So we've got all the heavy bolt rifles, sorry, the bolt rifles firing into them. I have paid 1 command point for Midnight Clad, so it'll be -1 to hit. Okay, so we've got 6 bolt rifle shots going into the Chaos Space Marines at -1 to hit, so we're hitting on 4s.
Indeed.
So that'll be 3. That didn't really help me, to be fair, did it?
Yeah.
And wounding on 4s as well.
Indeed.
And these are at -1. 1 wound at -1, so I need a 4-up save here to rescue him. And we make it, so that is no more dead Chaos Space Marines. Okay, so wrapping up the end of the shooting phase, the only other bit of shooting that actually happened was the Hellblasters here. Fired all of their shots into the Chaos Space Marines here. Into the Havocs here. Actually managed to kill 1 of them, but nothing else. So nothing else is actually in range for the Blood Angels. They obviously haven't got any assaults this turn. So we're going to move on into Night Lords, turn 1. Okay, Night Lords, turn 1, end of command and movement. Obviously I generated an additional command point in my command phase. No points to score though. So movement-wise, we had this Chaos Space Marine squad advance up towards the objective. We've got a nice big advance. We're actually sitting on that one now. Hopefully for next turn, we'll see if we're still there. D-Imprints also advanced, getting over in between these two large Chaos Space Marine squads. This Chaos Space Marine squad advanced up to the building, giving them a nice bit of hidden ability there. And then over on this side, we had the Hellforged Contemptor move up. He didn't advance, and likewise, this squad also moved up a little bit, not advancing because there's quite a lot of pain around that corner over there and on this side of the board, so I didn't want to get too much closer. The Sicaran here also stood still. So that is the movement phase done. Let's head on to Psychic and Shooting. Starting off the Psychic phase here, we're going to have the D-Imprints putting Diabolic Strength on himself, which definitely goes off, which is fantastic. And then we're going to put Prescience on to the Havoc squad here, which also goes off. So that is my Psychic phase done. Let's go do some shooting. First up in the shooting phase, we're going to have the Sicaran here firing all the way over into the Redemptor. So we got the main cannon and two las cannons. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to hit first with the Magnus Beam Laser. So we're hitting on a 3 here. Re-rolling ones because the D-Imprint is in range. We do definitely hit. And now, what is your leadership, Daryl?
Leadership 8.
Leadership 8. So I have to, on 3d6, beat or equal 8. Which we do. And that means you just take 2d6 wounds at -5. So here's the 2d6. Well, I think we'll take the 7. 7 wounds, and then so 7 wounds so far, but then we have now 2 las cannons going in, hitting on 3s. 1 hits, don't get to re-roll that 2. And we are then looking for a 3 as well, which we do get, and that's at -3, so you obviously get a 6-up save.
6-up save.
Which is no, unless you want to re-roll it, of course.
Nope.
No,
Okay.
trying to bake those command points out. So D6 additional damage on top of the 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is 10 wounds. There's 2 wounds left, is that correct?
3 wounds left.
3 wounds, oh, it's 13, is that right? Fine. Okay, so that is the Sicaran done. Next up in the shooting phase, we're going to have the Havoc squad here firing 3 missile launchers into the Hellblaster squad here. They do also have Prescience from the Sorcerer from earlier on, so let's see how they do. Okay, so here we go, 3 missile launchers firing at the Hellblaster squad. We're needing 2s to hit here. We hit with all of them. Didn't really need it actually either, a bit frustrating, but never mind. Although maybe I'll fire them again in a minute. And then 2s to wound because you're toughness 4 and I am strength 8 missiles. So they all wound, and you need 5-up saves because -2. Okay, so just the 1. So D6 damage. That is 1 dead Hellblaster.
1 dead Hellblaster.
Okay, so wrapping up the rest of the shooting phase, over to this side of the table, we had the Contempt here fire into the Death Company Dreadnought and didn't do anything actually, I think, in the end. However, we also had the Heavy Bolters here, which I paid Veterans of the Long War on, fire into the Leviathan over here. We took 1 wound off it with them. Nothing else over here could fire. Then obviously I then paid 2 command points for Endless Cacophony onto the Havoc squad here and fired again into the Hellblasters. We did take them down to 2 remaining. However, he's got the Ancient nearby, so we rolled the 4-ups for all the ones that lost their lives there and managed to kill off 3 of that unit. So we've both done leaderships and we both passed them, so no problems there. That is, in fact, the end of my turn 1. So we're going to move on to Blood Angels, turn 2. Blood Angels, turn 2. Over here, obviously we generate another command point, and Darryl also scored 10 points of primary objectives in the command phase because he was holding 2 objectives. We had this Death Company Intercessor squad move out of cover. We also had the chaplain try to get his Exaltation of Rage off. Did not manage to do that. So we had both the Dreadnoughts here move close onto the objective. I think these Night Lords are going to have a tough time dealing with it, but we shall see. Moving over to this side of the board at the end of the movement phase, we also had a squad of Assault Terminators and the Warlord drop in. So that's going to be quite painful for the Sorcerer, I think. And over here we had the Dreadnought move back onto the objective to secure it down because obviously it's highly wounded. So that also then freed up all of the Space Marines here to go around the corner. So we've got a lot of guns coming to bear on my units over here, I think. Also, there was an attempt to resurrect one of the Hellblasters, which failed, sadly. So that is movement. We're now going to move on to the shooting phase for the Blood Angels in turn 2. Okay, kicking off the shooting phase, we have the Leviathan, who's in range of my Dreadnought. All the weapons are going into this. We've got 2 heavy flamers and 2 melters. Okay, so starting off with 2 melter gun hits. I think we're hitting on 2s here. So 1 hit.
I think I'll spend a command.
You're going to command point it?
Yeah, I'm going to command point it. It's worth it.
Yeah, so 2 hits. You are strength 8 on toughness 7, so you're going to be needing 3s, pardon me. Yeah. So 1. So I need a 5 invulnerable from the Dreadnought here, which we don't get, so that goes to it. It's D6 damage.
D6.
So we've taken 3 damage so far.
Okay.
And then we've got 2 heavy flamers.
2 heavy flamers.
So it's 2d6. So 6 shots in total.
5, 6.
And wounding on 5s.
Indeed, so that is just
2. 2 at -1. So looking for 4 ups here. 1 got through. So that was a total of 4 wounds done to my Dreadnought so far. Okay, next up we're going to have this Dreadnought repeating similarly to the other one. So we've got 1 melter gun from him going into the Dreadnought. And then we have the Stormbolter firing into the squad down there. So here we go. Okay, here we go. We have a melter gun going into the Dreadnought.
3+.
Which is definitely a hit.
Hits.
And again another 3+.
Yes,
Yeah, and I'm looking for an invulnerable, which I don't get again. So D6 damage. Oh, okay. So that is 10 wounds. I think he has 12, but I'll check in a second. So the Stormbolter going into the Marines.
Yeah, indeed. 2 shots. Both hits.
1 wound. Okay, and that's at -1. Nope, that is okay. So that is that done. We're back in a minute with the rest of the shooting phase. Now, actually, just after checking, he does only have 10 wounds. So I do need to roll to see if he blows up, which he doesn't. So he is now removed. And we're right back with the rest of the shooting. Okay, so to conclude the rest of the shooting phase for Blood Angels in turn 2, we'll come over to this side of the board now. So we had basically everything here, so the Intercessors and the Hellblasters, the Sanguinary Guard, the Ancient, and anything else that could shoot, fired into the Chaos Space Marine squad here, killing off 3 more of them. So they're looking quite whittled down. We'll see if they pass the leadership in a minute. And then just to finish off the round for shooting, we had the Intercessors here fire all the way around into the squad over here. And they managed to pip off 2 quite effectively. That tactical doctrine really paying off. So that is shooting. I think there will be some assaults, so let's see what happens. Okay, well, this is going to be the shortest recap for a little while on the assault phase, on the grounds that Daryl made several charges. He failed every single one. So the assault Terminators failed, the Captain failed with a reroll, which was built in for him. The Death Company Dreadnought failed with a stratagem reroll, so didn't get in here. And then the Leviathan thought he'd try his luck. He failed his charge. And then the Hellblasters here did a double 1 on their roll into these guys. So yeah, that was pretty much not brilliant. However, I do have a leadership to do for this squad here because they lost 3. So we need to roll low here, which we did. 1 is always a pass, so that is all good. So at the end of that turn, Daryl did also score 4 points for his secondary, which is Linebreaker, because these guys are obviously in my table half fully. I didn't score any secondaries, obviously, because it's not my turn. So that's the end of turn 2 for the Blood Angels. And I'm going to turn 2 for the Night Lords and see if they can pull back some points. So turn 2 for the Night Lords, and movement phase has finished. The Sorcerer here has jumped up behind the 2 Havocs that are remaining here, because obviously feeling slightly threatened by this rear charge. Was just in range of that objective still. We then had this Chaos Space Marine squad follow this Chaos Space Marine squad towards the objective, but also the enemy lines over here, along with the Demon Prince, who flew over the top, landing on that corner there, ready to hopefully get a charge off. We then had the Chaos Terminator Lord fall back into here. Obviously got a nice charge on the Ancient at the back. We then also had the Raptor squad come in here, hopefully going to finish off those last 3 wounds of the Redemptor, although it might be a tall order, we will see. Onto this side of the board, we've made a sort of retreat because there's too many Dreadnoughts around that corner, so I wanted to just give them at least another turn of potentially having some more failed charges, but it's going to be quite a difficult one, I think, because they're quite close now. So that is movement done. We're going to head on to Psychic and shooting. Okay, so kicking off the Psychic phase, we have the Sorcerer putting Prescience onto the missile launchers again. So we need a 7. That is gone off. Oh, that was lucky. One more on the way from being quite devastating. And then we're going to warp time himself on a 6, which also goes off, so I'll move him in a second. And then finally over here, we're going to have the Demon Prince putting a Diabolical Strength upon himself, which is also a 6, which goes off by exactly what it needed. So that is the Psychic phase done. Okay, so to start off the shooting phase, we're going to have the Sicarian here firing all of its in range, actually not all of it. The heavy bolter is actually going to go into the Hell Blasters over here. The long range weaponry is all going to fire off into this little dreadnought over here to try and finish him off. So let's see how it does. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start off with the main cannon going into the dreadnought. So we're going to need a 3 to hit, which we do hit with. And then your leadership on him is, I'm going to assume it's, I'll roll first, because we'll see if we get something. Oh, we roll the cock die. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It is only 7.
So he has managed to wound him, so that is -5. So you're relying on your feel no pain here. So we've got 2d6 damage going in. 6, 7, 8.
Oof. So I need 6s.
6s to save from those ones. None.
I get none.
Is he only 8 wounds?
I think he might be.
I think he might be as well, I'm afraid. Which means I've just wasted my last cannon shots, but we'll see what happens.
Only 8 wounds.
8 wounds, so does he, well, it doesn't matter if he blows up because nothing's in range. So that is 1 dead Death Company Dreadnought. And also I've got the heavy bolters going into the Hell Blaster, so we've got 3 shots with that. Needing 3s as well. All hit. That's a bit of an omen. And then 3s to wound. I'm not sure what's going on with my dice rolls, that's pretty bad. So you took 2 wounds, so that is 1 Hell Blaster dead. So that's that. Okay, so we're going to wrap up the rest of the shooting phase here after the Sicarian fired. So we had the 2 Havocs here fire 2 rounds into the Assault Terminators here, killing 2 off. We did use Endless Cacophony to get an extra shot, so command points are starting to dwindle a bit, but they also had prescience, so they were hitting on 2s. We then had all the bolt pistols from the Raptors here fire into the Redemptor here, and it all pinged off its armour, so nothing there. However, a slight change of fortune into the middle here. Obviously the heavy bolts you saw fired killed a Hell Blaster. However, the Flamer here managed to hit 6 intercessors and actually killed 2 out of all that. And then the rest of the guns fired into the Hell Blaster and finished that off. We then had 2 plasma guns from back here overcharge and fire into the Intercessor squad and killing another 2, which is pretty lucky. However, doing all the 4-up rolls from the Ancient over here, letting them fight on a 4-up, we managed to lose 2 wounds on the Demon Prince from some shots from there because I realised I placed him too far away so he could be targeted. We then had, basically, both these squads here fired all of their available weaponry into the Leviathan. And yeah, we did nothing. Lots of good saves there. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do about him. I'm going to have to wait for him maybe to come around the corner, and that's if this guy doesn't come and get me. However, we do have some assaults to do, so we'll be right back with the assault phase. Okay, so at the end of the charging phase, the Raptors made it into here. The Demon Prince made it into the Ancient and the Intercessors. The Chaos Marine squad here made it into the Sanguinary Priest. However, the Chaos Terminator Lord here did not make his charge, even with his re-roll. So we're going to start off with some close combat here, and I think we'll start off with the Demon Prince going into the Ancients and the Intercessors. So we're going to start off here with the Demon Prince, obviously. So I've divvied up the initial attack, so we're going to do 3 into the Ancients, and then 2, 4, 6 into the Intercessors. The reason I've got 9 is obviously I've got double lot of strength, which gives +2 strength, +1 attack, and I charge, and I have 2 talons. So we'll do the Ancient attacks first. So we've got 3 going on to him, hitting on 2s. Re-rolling 1s because of Demon Prince. No, so just 2 in there. Strength 9, so we're wounding on 2s. Oh dear. So 1 got through at -2.
5 up.
No, so that's 2 damage.
Right, so he's on 3 wounds left, the Ancient.
Yeah, and then we have the rest going into the Intercessors here. So we're looking for 2s. Re-rolling 1s. Just read that one first. And then we have 1 additional one from the 6 there for Death of the False Emperor. So that many hits. And we're looking for 2s again as well because we have strength 9. Take out the 1s. So we've got 2, 4, 6 damage. Sorry, 6 saves, I should say. That's -2. No.
Oof.
2, 4, 6. So 6 wounds in total. So it's 2 apiece. So it's the rest of your Intercessors gone.
Ancient.
Ancients, yeah. So here we go.
3 4-ups.
3 4-ups. So.
Oh, cool. So let's try that again. And again. Okay. Middle there.
There
we go.
So 3. You get to fight back with your 3 Intercessors, and obviously you get +1 because I charged you.
Indeed.
So they're normally 2 attacks each, except for the Sergeant who gets 3.
Indeed.
So 3 attacks each for the 2 normals.
6.
And then 4 for the sergeant.
That's exactly right.
There you go, here we go. And then we're hitting on 3s.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And wounding on 5s.
Yeah,
Re-rolling 1s because of your lieutenant.
I might just need to check some because the Sangaree Priest would give them an extra strength.
Ah, okay. It looks like they're in range. If it's 6 inches, you're definitely in range. I was just checking that.
They are indeed. So, they are actually strength 5.
So they're still 5s.
Still 5. Doesn't make a difference.
I see 4 there.
4 indeed.
No minus on them though. So
No.
we're looking for, I think we have a base 3 up. So, oh dear. So I've just listed 4 wounds. So he's actually down to 2 wounds somehow. That was quite painful. Okay, so as the assault phase comes to an end, you saw the Demon Prince do his damage to the intercessors. However, the Ancient here at the end hit back against Demon Prince. He did 2 wounds. I managed to save 1, but I used a command point to save the other one. So he's still on 2 wounds at the moment. Over here, this Sangaree Priest is down to 2 wounds as well after taking some heavy hits from the squad down there. Over here, this is a bit irritating. The Raptors made it in, obviously, and they charged, but we actually managed to make 10 wounds on him, and he only failed 2. So he's on 1 wound, and he fought back and killed 1. So, yeah, not brilliant, but, you know, another round. I was hoping to get rid of him this round. Other than that, there was no other combats at the moment. So, yes, and also because I managed to wipe out the units I was fighting with, there's no leaderships to be done either. So, that is the end of turn 2 for the Night Lords. Let's move on to turn 3 for the Blood Angels. Okay, here we go, turn 3 for the Blood Angels. Quite a lot of movement done in this round. So down here we had the Assault Terminators move up to the objective. Obviously they're going to probably take on these Havocs, I suspect. We had the Smash Captain has moved up on the back end of the Sicarian, which is he's slightly worried about, I will admit. We then had the very worrying thing, which is the Leviathan Dreadnought moved up here. All of his weapons are in range of these 2 squads here. So they're going to get some Flame and Melter before that charge probably happens. And then moving on to this side of the board, obviously the Redemptor here is elected to stay in combat. The Ancient moved out of combat from the Demon Prince, because obviously that then opens him up to be shot by possibly these Intercessors here, and also the Lieutenant could make a counter charge onto him fairly easily. Obviously my Warlord back here is a little bit in a precarious position because there's quite a lot of guns that can shoot at him at the moment as well. But I think Darren might be after the Demon Prince somehow to try and remove that threat from the board. So that's all of the movement. Now let's move on to some shooting for the Blood Angels in turn 3. Okay, so the Leviathan firing into, is it both of them or just you picking on one of them?
I'm picking on one, just this Havoc
The Havoc squad there, which is the one actually currently holding the objective. So let's see how it does. Okay, so we've got 2 melters going in.
Yep. So 2 melters, 2 and a 3.
Yeah, so both hit, yeah.
2 and a 1.
2 and a 1, so, well, I can't save it, so one of them is dead.
On the Havocs.
Oh, sorry, on the Havocs, yes, pardon me.
So you know what, I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that one.
You're going to spend a command point to re-roll that? Okay. So that's another one dead. So that's 2 Havocs dead from the Havoc squad, and then you've got 2 Heavy Flamers going in, so 2d6 hits. 4.
6.
Needing 3s to wound. So that is 4 wounds at -1. That'll be the rest of the Havoc squad gone. So that is all the Havocs gone. Not good for that objective. Okay, for the rest of the shooting phase, over here we had the Redemptor fire into the Raptors, because obviously we can do that now. It managed to take out 1. We saved the other one. And then basically anything else that could shoot is fired into the Demon Prince. Mainly the Intercessors was the main threat over here, and they actually did the most damage. They did 2, but I only managed to save 1. So he's on 1 wound at the moment. That's pretty dicey health level for that Demon Prince. However, that is all the shooting that the Blood Angels can muster. However, there is quite a combat-y threat coming in this turn, so we're going to move on to turn 3, Assault for the Blood Angels. Okay, first charge starting off with the Demon Prince versus the Lieutenant. Okay, so we have the Lieutenant going into the Demon Prince. 6 attacks coming in, hot, 2s to hit. All hit. And then 4s to wound, because he's getting +1 to wound from, was it Savage Echoes? Or Red Thirst? Red Thirst. That's 3 wounds. Okay.
Power Sword.
Well, we're looking for 5 up Demon saves. No, so Demon Prince has gone down. Okay, so we're now at the end of the assault phase for the Blood Angels, and excuse the bike in the background because we've had to have the windows open because it is really hot in here today. We basically over here, the assault terminator has made it in and absolutely decimated the havocs, which is no surprise. However, over here, the warlord basically drove his hammer so many times to Sakara and it's been completely battered to death. So that is gone. A bit annoying for me because that was my one bit of anti-armor. However, on the flip side over here, the Raptors managed to finish off the Redemptor Dreadnought, and it was a draw in combat over here. No, nothing happened there. I did roll a 1 for my leadership for my Chaos Marine squad over there, so they are staying put for now. So that is the end of turn 3 Blood Angels. So we're going to head on to turn 3 for the Night Lords. Okay, so as we commence the end of turn 3 movement for the Night Lords, over here we had this Chaos Space Marine squad move up to secure this objective properly and also to give support to the squad that is currently in combat with the Sanguinary Priest there. We had the Chaos Terminator Lord make a move this way towards the 2 characters here, hopefully going to try and take some scalps. The Raptors here have stayed put for the moment because I need to hold this objective because I haven't really got a lot of objectives now because obviously this one over here got taken and I'm pretty sure the ones that I just fell back with over here are going to have a troublesome time holding off a Leviathan Dreadnought. So yes, that is my movement done. We're now going to head on to some psychic and shooting and let's see what the Night Lords can do. Okay, so we've ended the shooting phase in turn 3 for the Night Lords, and over here all the pistols from the Raptors fired into the Ancient, didn't do anything. However, we then fired all of the weapons from this squad, although it only took the plasmas in the end, into this lieutenant that was here and managed to kill that fairly quickly. So that actually got me 3 points for Assassinate. I did have to use a command reroll, so I'm back down to 0 because one of my plasmas would have died otherwise. So that is actually unfortunately all of the shooting I've got. We're now going to head on into the combat phase, which is mainly going to be focused over here, I think, and see how we get on. Okay, we only managed to get 1 round of combat in there because the other charges failed. However, the Terminator Lord here did manage to take out the Ancient, which does get me another 3 points for Assassinate because there's another character gone. I just realised we still need to do the combat for the Sanguinary Guard as well. 1 second. And after wrapping that combat up, nothing actually happened there. It was I didn't do anything to him and he didn't do anything to me, so you can't really ask fairer than that, I suppose. So that does end turn 3 for the Night Lords. So we're going to head on to turn 4 for Blood Angels. Quite a lot of devastating units heading my way, but we'll see if the little core of Night Lords over here can hold out for another turn. We're right back with turn 4 for the Blood Angels. Okay, so at the end of turn 4 movement for Blood Angels, we had the captain make a big jump up towards this squad here, obviously trying to thin them out shortly. Over this side, we had the Sanguinary Priest who broke combat. Obviously, that opens up the intercessors here to be able to fire into them if required. And other than that, we had the Assault Terminators have stayed put on the objective because they're trying to hold it. And then over here, the Leviathan has also moved forward, probably going to put some flamey death down on these guys. Shouldn't be too difficult for him to finish off, I suspect. So, that's the end of movement. Let's head on to the shooting phase. So the end of shooting for the Blood Angels down here, the Leviathan absolutely cooked the 3 remaining Chaos Space Marines. They are no longer there. He's also holding that objective because he's just in range. However, as we move over to this side of the board, slightly better faring for me. We had the Intercessors over here fire all of their rapid fire weapons into this squad down here, took out 1. And that was it. Nothing else really shooting wise available for the Blood Angels. However, we're moving to their favourite phase, which is the assault phase, and there is a few assaults that are going to go off here, so let's see how they fare. Right, so there was actually only 1 combat anyway, because the only thing that made it in was the captain here. He did manage to wipe out 7 of the unit. However, I did manage to pass my leadership by rolling a 1, which always passes. Very lucky because I think that's the 3rd one I've actually rolled in this game. No other combats of note, so that concludes turn 4 for the Blood Angels. We'll now roll on to Night Lord's turn 4 and see if we can salvage some points. Okay, turn 4 for the Night Lords. Obviously we scored another 10 points because we were holding 2 objectives again, so that's good. And then we did some interesting movements. So over here, to free up the Raptors, I ran or advanced my Chaos Space Marine squad through the building here. We actually got a 6, so they were able to move 12 inches. They're now holding this objective, which meant the Raptors could then move this way to hopefully deal with various things on this side of the board. I don't think they're going to be able to get anywhere particularly quickly because we've only got 1 more turn after this, but we'll see how they get on. And then the Lord here has moved towards the Priest because obviously that's worth another 3 points to me. Likewise over here, the Sorcerer has going to square up against the captain there. He's on 4 wounds now, by the way, because Daryl did actually forget to roll his feel no pain for him, which got him 1 back in the end, which is good for him. Obviously, they're still in combat with the 4 remaining Chaos Space Marines as well. So that is movement. So we're going to do a bit of psychic and shooting now, and we'll be right back with a little recap. Right, so we've just finished the shooting and psychic phases. Basically, psychically wise, the sorcerer here tried to get a smite off onto the captain here, which went off. I then thought, I've got a command point, let's be greedy and try and go to get the D6, and then I failed the smite, so he took no mortal wounds there, which is rather silly of me. I think I should have just gone with the attempted killing of at least 2 to 3 wounds. Anyway, we then fired a bolt pistol into him, which did nothing. Over here, the Raptors fired all of their pistols into the Sanguini Priest and actually managed to kill it exactly. So that's good. There's another 3 points from my Assassinate secondary objective. However, that is the end of shooting. We've definitely got some assaults to go off here, so let's see what happens. At the end of Night Lord's turn 4 assault phase, things are starting to hot up a little bit, because down here we had the sorcerer who went into the captain and actually managed to absolutely pummel him, and it was the D3 wounds that unfortunately tipped Daryl over the edge at the end. Didn't manage to do any feel no pain saves either, so that was pretty brutal against that. So that got me another 3 points for Assassinate. And then over here, the Raptors and the Terminator Lord made the charge into the Death Company intercessors, and we managed to kill all but one of them, which was the sergeant, who did actually manage to hit back and kill 2, so quite a nice account of himself considering he was on his own. However, the leadership was nigh on impossible to pass due to many modifiers from Night Lord. He had to roll a 1, so even with a re-roll it was a 5 and a 6, sadly. So that concludes turn 4 for the Night Lords. So we're moving on to the last turn now. So let's see how this game ends up in turn 5 for the Blood Angels. Okay, turn 5, movement for the Blood Angels. They scored 15 points this round, not pants, that would be really weird. 15 points this round, Daryl's having a chuckle at that one. Basically because they were obviously holding this one at the beginning, and also the Leviathan was over here holding that one, and they're still holding the one over here with the chaplain at the beginning of the turn. Movement-wise, over here, the Assault Marines now no longer interested in holding this objective, have moved towards the Sorcerer, because obviously that's Ball the Witch has got some points there, but also they could potentially knock me off that objective for the beginning of my turn, which would mean I'd only score 5 and not 10. Over here, the chaplain has just moved into cover because I think odds are I might have been able to do something there, but unlikely. But it's always good to keep it safe because these guys are pretty much out of the game now after their last little bit of heroics last turn. So that's the end of movement. We've got some shooting to go. No, there's no. Actually, do you know what? Daryl is nodding at me no, because nothing is in range. So we're going to go straight into the combat phase. So the only bit of combat was down here. The assault terminators made it in quite easily in the end. They managed to batter the sorcerer into a inch of his life, so actually scored down another 3 points, so he's going to get some psycho points at the end of the game. However, not quite enough to deal with the lowly Chaos Space Marines. 7 attacks went into them, but they only managed to actually kill 2 in the end, mainly because of some horrible wounding rolls with a command point as well. So not good for that particular thing. I'm still holding that objective because obviously I'm a troop choice. So that concludes turn 5 for the Blood Angels. I think the turn 5 for the Night Lords is going to be very quick. There's really not much I can do, to be honest, but we'll see if we can maybe pull a little trick out of the bag potentially. So we'll be right back in a minute with turn 5 for the Night Lords. Okay, so the Night Lords, seeing that the only thing they could possibly do is maybe try and chip off a couple of Terminators, because it's anything in range. So we're going to do an optimistic charge with the Raptors here. I do have 1 command point, which I generated at the beginning of this turn, so I might be able to re-roll it if possible. We're going to go into some shooting, and before we go straight into the combat phase, we'll wrap them up at the same time, because this is really the only thing that can happen at the moment. So we'll be right back in a minute with the end of turn 5. Yeah, so you know when you do a charge and you're like, this should go all right. Did 8 wounds, and then all those wounds were passed, and then they get to attack back with 17 attacks, and then suddenly you lose your entire unit. So, and also that's not someone to come pick my Raptors up. Might be, because they're definitely dead. So that actually concludes the game. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go and quickly tot up what the final scores were. I have a suspicion it might be quite close. So let's see what the final scores of the Blood Angels versus Night Lords is. Okay, so we have concluded the game, and Well, it was quite a good game. It was actually quite close. There was only 10 points in it in the end. Daryl just about came out on top with 68. Unfortunately, I didn't get as many as I thought I was going to get for my thin the ranks score, because it really doesn't half divide down once you get totaled up. So I really probably shouldn't have picked that. So it was actually 58 to the Night Lords and 68 to the Blood Angels. However, I think the game could have gone either way with a couple of little things here or there. I think that last round of you getting that 15 for the primary objectives was actually a pretty good swingy point for you. So, Daryl, do you enjoy yourself?
I did. It's my first game of Ninth.
Yep.
First time running Blood Angels properly, so apologies if there's anything that I could have done better. Yeah, give me
that's
some
all right.
hints.
I'm sure the people in comments will point out any mistakes or
give me some hints.
little
First
hints.
time playing
Yeah.
Blood Angels for a long, long time.
Yeah. And so, do you have a favourite game of the match? Favourite model of the match for you, Daryl?
I think my Ancient, just the
amount of extra
Vortex.
hits he generated, yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
you've got the Hellblast extra shot, the Instance extra shot, the Ancient, I think, was really good.
I'm going to pick my Demon Prince. I know he died, but he took out a lot of that threat of the board at the back there with one round of combat, which was very helpful for me. Plus, also, I'm going to give an honorary mention to these guys here who made a charge across the table to get themselves into a position on the objective so I could free up my Raptors. So that is the end of the game. Thank you all very much for watching. As usual, if you have liked what you've seen, or maybe if you don't, but you've got some tips, put some comments below. But also, please give us a subscribe if you can, and a like, please, as well. So thank you very much for watching. This is Tom from Blacktoad Studios, and we'll be seeing you again soon.